at the Etihad. Manchester City taking on Leicester City, of course. With Liverpool winning on Friday, this was a must-win match for City. And they did, thanks to an absolute stunner from Vincent Kompany, giving them all 3 points, meaning now just one win for City against Brighton. The final day of the season will guarantee them retaining the title. We'll talk about their title chances and what this means for Liverpool a bit later on, but let's just focus on the match. And really, the match is all about that goal from Vincent.
Closed him down, he took another touch and got him a little bit closer, set himself, and then obviously... for those that saw it, the angles from behind, it went right in the top corner. You can place it in. Schmeichel, who had been fantastic, had absolutely no chance. So, an unexpected scorer, but a heck of a goal.
From a Liverpool's perspective, when you see him running, Stevie, you're like, shoot, go on. Because you're thinking this is going to go over. There's no way he's going to score from there.
I have to admit, part of me was saying, go on then, hit it. Unfortunately, he did hit it, and unfortunately, it was an absolute screamer. He ended up going with a runner rather than closing him because, as a defender, you're thinking, right, what's the best option here? And the best option is to leave it with Kompany. Unfortunately, Kompany from nowhere has hit an absolute worldly. But honestly, City deserved the win.
Yeah.
They were by far the better side, and it did feel all the way throughout the game as though it was a matter of time. It just came from the unexpected source.
For all the City domination and all the chances they created and the saves that Schmeichel make and the goal that Kompany scores, Iheanacho has a chance late in the game. And I mean, you couldn't ask for anything better for him coming to his favorite left foot, rolling nice and neatly for him to just be taken first time. And man, you talk about a player that is not ready for the moment. And then, well, of course, we heard the stat that he hasn't scored in 27 matches and said, well, here's why. There was an opportunity there for him to do a huge favour to Liverpool, came up short. Other than that, Manchester City was all over Leicester. But you could feel the nerves. You could feel the nerves in the stadium. You can feel the nerves from some of the players, some of the decisions that were being made on the field by players that you usually see them completing passes that are simple passes to complete. They weren't doing that with consistency. You see then Pep Guardiola in the silence all over the place as well. He's feeling it too. And Kompany comes up with that goal, and then everything just kind of goes away. It's a great match for City in terms of the result. And I think there's going to be nervous moments ahead. Even if it is away to Brighton, there's going to be nervous moments away because it just feels like nothing's going to come easy for either Liverpool or City in this last match.
Apparently, when City, to go back to your point, Ali, when City sold Iheanacho to Leicester, they were adamant inserting a 50 million buyback clause,
right,
which is well and truly sailed down the river. Now, not just on tonight's performance or tonight's miss, but I think just as a generalisation. So, in some sense, they were lucky that wasn't a sort of Jamie Vardy or a Maddison in that position to finish it, because that, you know, and you mentioned it during the game, was Zinchenko's out of position that late in the game with the title on the line, and you got one goal up. All good full-backs and centre-halves are saying, and midfielders are saying, right, stay in your position. Don't go charging forward.
Ali mentioned it. You could feel the tension, even just us watching here. Leading up to that,
you mean?
Leading up to the goal, it came in the 70th minute, in the sense that there was a time that I'm sure City fans are thinking, maybe this is it. Maybe this is the time that we're going to blow it. What's it like as a player in that situation? You must have had similar games when you were on runs for Liverpool, where you need a goal, you can feel the tension from the crowd. As Ali says, the players aren't as slick as you normally would see them.
You know, you have to remember the process of why, with 2 games to go, you're probably going to win the league. You have to remember how that happened. And that means that you don't go trying to do it all on your own. So you don't have anybody just running willy-nilly, trying shots from 40 and 50 yards, just doing stupid things. You try and remember the process that you've done for 9 months that have got you there. And if you do that, then with the possession you have, with the ability you have, you get an opportunity somewhere along the line. And it's an opportunity because nobody closing you from 25 yards, you take the shot. And he scored.
You can't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
I know it's the old cliches. You can't, I remember at Celtic in '98, second last game away from home, thousands of Celtic fans, thousands of them turned up at East End Park, Dunfermline. We had to win to get the 3 points. It's done. They're giving us it. They're giving us the game beforehand. We go there, We get ahead of ourselves a little bit. Don't play particularly well, get a point. So now it has to go to the last game.
Right.
So I think from Guardiola's point of view, and it's a great evening for them. We're on the pitch. They had the lap of honour last game at the Etihad for this season. However, unlikely they're going to slip up at Brighton, but you can't go into it thinking, well, that's it. We're done. Well, that's it. It's ours.
Let's just remind you then, the final day of the season, we'll see at the same time Liverpool play host to Wolves, Manchester City away against Brighton. This might be a daft question, but I'm going to ask you anyway, Stevie.
Okay.
Who would you prefer?
I'll be honest, I would rather be away at Brighton.
Would you?
Aye.
Than at home against Wolves?
I'll tell you what, right now, there's a couple of teams you obviously don't want to play. Wolves is one of those teams, you know, because Wolves are going to go to Anfield and open up and play. And we've just been talking about the nerves. Liverpool showed a little bit of nerves against Newcastle, and Newcastle opened up and played against Liverpool and almost got a point, or took 2 points off them. Wolves are going to go to Anfield and they will open up and play. And they've got talent, and they don't care who they play. They've got the way that they go about it, and regardless of the opposition, regardless of where they are, they play their football. So Wolves is not a team I would love to play having to win a game.
And how about the stadium, Anfield? If things are not going well, that anxiety you start feeling as a player. And so now what should be an advantage that you're playing at home, what should be an advantage that you're using that electricity, all of a sudden that electricity, you are the one who's feeling it as a player, not in a good way, in a way in which it limits you, in a way in which now the passes are not what they're supposed to be, the movement of the ball is not what it's supposed to be, the freedom of the players is not what it's supposed to be, because now you're thinking about the possibility of failure rather than possibility of being the team that wins the championship.
You can guarantee that Liverpool fans, if it's not going well, will absolutely feel it. This is a generation that don't know what it's like to win the league.
Yeah.
They don't know what it's like. I mean, City won it last year, and you could feel their fans being a little tense. Can you imagine what it's going to be like at Anfield? That's not where Liverpool want to be in this game.
That'll all go out the window if they're 3-0 up at Brighton.
Well,
Listen, in today's age...
Which would you prefer?
Sorry.
Wolves or Brighton?
Brighton away.
Yeah?
Yeah. And let's be honest, in today's technology, it's not exactly... It's not a carrier pigeon.
No, even Stevie could work it
It's
out.
not a carrier pigeon.
They're going to have the radio out the air during the game.
So, you know, it's not a guarantee that is going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Man City and Arsenal are different, but there was a freedom about Brighton against Arsenal at the weekend, and they played quite well, and they defended quite well at times, and they were a threat going forward. Now, I know Arsenal and City are a different kettle of fish. It's not completely done and dusted, but I think clearly it would be a big surprise if City didn't win.
Let's welcome Gab Marcotti into the show. Gab, what is without doubt, these two teams have been sensational this season. I don't think we've ever seen it before, have we? These sides with more than 90 points and not winning the league.
Yeah, it's a pretty absurd situation. We've seen it in other leagues, and I think one of the key things is there's a very real possibility that Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool will end the season trophyless. And I know that there's going to be some people who judge everything by trophies. Same people who last year laughed at Maurizio Sarri because he got 94 points and didn't win anything, which made him a loser. And they might direct the same stuff at Klopp, but that shouldn't be the case because this is an unbelievable season. They really drove City to the wire. I think even today, when Craig spoke before, or sorry, Stevie spoke before about you go back to what got you there. You go through the process. In the end, what gave them the lead was a captain taking responsibility, and gambling from 25 yards out on a very low percentage shot. That's how far Liverpool have pushed them. If they can't push past them at the end, this will still be an absolute standout season for Liverpool.
And the problem for Liverpool is that they've come up against a Manchester City side who've put in a very similar performance that they did last season. This is their 13th straight win in the Premier League. It's an incredible run, and when we talk about these things, Stevie, you always say it is so hard to retain a title.
Yeah.
To go in and put in the same sort of effort.
Yep.
But that's exactly what City have done. We're looking at this longest winning streak when, of course, last year they made it 18. And let's not forget this is a City team who were without last year's star player for much of it. Kevin De Bruyne are obviously out.
It's a championship win and run, is what it is. And nobody can argue about it. Liverpool can't argue either. They'll be disappointed that they were ahead at one stage, but it's a true test. When champions are up against it, they turn it around, and that's exactly what City did, and they did it starting with beating Liverpool.
Yeah.
And so nobody can have any complaints, and Liverpool fans cannot have any complaints. Their team absolutely has taken a giant step forward from last year. Yes, we all want trophies. Yes, Liverpool want the Holy Grail in the Premier League, but if they don't win it this year, they need to go and spend some more money, strengthen that squad in a couple of positions, and then get after it again the following year.
I mean, if they do lose it and it's not done, they're losing it to, potentially, they're losing it to the best, I think, the best squad in European football.
Yeah.
Now, clearly they're not going to win Europe's elite event because they're out, but that doesn't necessarily mean they don't have the best squad, which I think they do. Most talented squad. And the fact that Klopp has taken Liverpool to the brink against them is over the course of 38 games and not on a knockout Champions League is amazing. Now, if Liverpool do finish second, I don't deny there will be the odd space cadet who'll phone up a UK broadcast radio station suggesting they should be sacked, because there is always the odd idiot pops up now and again. However, I just think he's taken them. The progression that you're seeing from Liverpool is a real upward trend. The only problem is clearly at the moment Man City are so strong and they're going to be difficult to topple.
Just quickly, this is some dynasty, isn't it? That Manchester City are forming here.
Yeah, and they're not going away anytime soon. You look at the age of the players, they're all coming into their prime or are in their prime. Even a guy like Vincent Kompany, who scores a goal today, you wouldn't think, okay, well, he's on his way out. Well, what a way to go out if that's the case. I mean, that's a historic goal, if you will, for Manchester City. The truth is that Manchester City, they were here last year, they're here this year, and they'll be here next year and the year after that. They're unbeatable at this point.
Company will never have to buy a drink, ever.
I don't think he did anyway.
No, I know. But talk about solidifying that legendary status. That is definitely not in question now.